what was that? Okay.
He's not, I'm sure he's checking the weed.
Right.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Dawn Patrol. I'm Cliff Krieger, your host. I have sitting with me Regina Faticanti,
Good morning.
professor, member of the sheriff's staff down
Thank you.
Where is that?
Bill Ricca.
Bill Ricca.
Bill Ricca.
And former politician.
Yes?
Are there ever any former politicians?
No. So when you said the word former, I don't think so, because we were always talking about politics in one form or another.
Yeah.
So I think none of us are. We might not be sitting at the table, but we're always behind the scenes talking about it, thinking about it, looking at it. Because the first thing I came in and I said to John McDonough is here with us, is that, hey, did you watch the president's speech last night? Which is something we're going to talk about this morning.
Yeah.
Because all three of us did watch it.
So, the national debt is almost $39.5 trillion, and neither party is able to get it to stop growing. The low this morning was 57 at 63 now,
A little chilly.
going to 85.
Anybody leaving the house, just realize it's a little chilly out. Throw a little jacket on.
So, 1821, the Kingdom of Spain cedes the territory of Florida to the United States. That was a gain for us.
That was a big gain, because Florida is a wonderful state. I happen to like Florida very much.
So, the governor, apparently, Ron DeSantis, has come in with a lower budget than last year, and last year was lower than the year before. Someone quipped that it's a good thing he's term limited, or the state budget would end up at zero.
I know. I would like to know what he took out of this current budget that wasn't, that he didn't feel that he needs. I mean, he's, and I appreciate the fact that because I think one of the topics you had thrown out for us to discuss is, the concept of, politicians and whether or not they are, necessary. And I should say people who work for the government, and whether or not they actually put in a full day's work. Apparently, the people who are working for Ron DeSantis, they put in a full day's work, because there's no one else sitting next to them that can pick up the rest of the load. So so Ron has made sure that I only need one person for this job, not two. So, but good for him.
And he's probably getting more revenue as people run from New York State.
So did you see that? So did you see the numbers that came out of New York? The people leaving New York going to California and Florida, the millions and millions and millions of dollars that have now retreated California, that have retreated New York and gone to California, that have gone to Florida. And where was the second place? Was it Arizona?
I don't know.
I think it was Arizona. And no, I'm sorry, it was Texas. It was Texas, Florida and Texas. And I just thought, well, you folks in New York and California, you say bye-bye to your money. And what was the mayor of what place in Seattle? Bye-bye. Well, she's going to be, the more she says bye-bye, the more those millionaires are going to leave. And the more she's going to realize she should have zipped it up, and she should have said, oh, please stay. And she should not have said bye-bye. Because she made a big deal of saying, well, we don't need those millionaires and those companies to stay in the state. And I think she made a big mistake when she said bye-bye. But hey, I'm sure Texas It's being very welcoming. Come on down. We'll give you a pair of boots and a hat, and we will welcome you.
When they ask the companies to go away, it's like saying we don't need farms.
Exactly. Farms feed people. How do you not need farms?
Companies have jobs.
Right. Companies have jobs. Now, here's what I'm also interested in understanding. Do the people who work in those companies sell their homes and move to Texas? Because that's a big
Well, if you're going to keep your good job, and you like the people you're working with, yeah.
So there's a gentleman I work with. He's wonderful. He helped me a great deal during my audit last year, and he's an IT guy. Excellent IT guy. His wife just got a very big promotion, and they are going to Florida. Now, it's interesting that she got the big promotion, and he is leaving to go take a job at another correctional facility in Florida. And so he's picking up and he's moving.
Regina, if you're a good worker, if you're a good help, you can get a job anywhere.
Excellent, and he's good help.
If you're Deadwood,
Right.
you can't do that.
And he's good help.
We're going to go back over the cliff.
But now that's one person.
Going back over the cliff.
No, people go to where the jobs are.
Yeah. There's dozens of jobs.
I don't know if it's true, but supposedly U-Haul has a deficit in California because people are running U-Hauls and
Yes.
going someplace else with their household goods and dropping the truck off.
I've heard the same thing.
Back in 1918, Tsar Nicholas II of Russia and his immediate family and retainers are executed by the Bolshevik Chekists in their refuge.
That was horrible.
And also in 1918, on this day, the RMS Carpathia was sunk off Ireland by a German submarine U-55. Only 5 lives were lost. That was not all that bad. 1938, Douglas Corrigan takes off from Brooklyn to fly to California, but goes the wrong way to Ireland and becomes known as Wrong Way Corrigan.
That's great.
He was looking for an airline job,
Okay.
and he wanted to prove his worth by replicating what Lindbergh had done. And they looked at his airplane and said, "No, we're not certifying you to go to Ireland." And so they did allow him to fly back to California.
Oh.
I met Douglas Corrigan.
Did you really?
Yeah.
And what did he say about his trip?
We didn't talk about
Oh, okay.
it. That's a 17-year-old kid.
Oh, I bet it was unbelievable to meet the guy, though.
Yeah. It was. Was an orange farmer out there in Orange County,
Okay.
California. In 1944, the Port Chicago disaster near San Francisco Bay, 2 ships loaded with ammunition exploded in Port Chicago, California, killing 320.
So let me ask you, do you think it exploded by accident, or do you think somebody helped it explode?
I'm suspecting it exploded by accident.
Okay.
In 1945, the 3 leaders of the Allied nations, Winston Churchill, Harry Truman, and Joseph Stalin, held the Potsdam Conference in the German city of Potsdam to decide the future of a defeated Germany. In 1962, nuclear weapons testing, the small boy test shot, little feller becomes the last atmospheric detonation at the Nevada National Security Site. My dad used to spend his summers out there leading a team that would go out and put out markers and then come back and retrieve them. And so he'd come home. I'd check his luggage for swizzle sticks. He would always bring swizzle sticks from the bar. But, that was in the 50s. In 1981, a structural failure leads to the collapse of a walkway at the Hyatt Regency in Kansas City, Missouri, killing 114 and injuring more than 200. I remember that.
Really? I don't remember it.
Yeah.
It must have
Well,
been
you're
horrible.
a lot younger than I am.
It must have been horrible.
Yeah. In 1994, Brazil wins their fourth World Cup title, defeating Italy 3-2 on penalties. And in 1996, Trans World Airways Flight 800 off the coast of Long Island, Paris bound. It was a Boeing 747 and it blew up, killed 230 people on board.
Cliff, Jay wants to know your opinion of this.
I heard about this, Jay.
I'm going to finish asking the question in just a second, Regina, okay?
Sorry, John.
Excuse me, please, okay? Jay asked me to put this video up and get your opinion of this flyover. And had you seen it before, and what are
No.
your thoughts?
I did see it. I did
Well,
hear
I'm
about
asking
it.
Cliff, so I want Cliff to take a look at the video, because he used to fly fighter jets.
I have not seen it. It looks like a buzz job to me.
It was the 4th of July.
How much trouble do you think he's in? He blew over the beach chairs on the beach.
I think he could have gotten grounded for a couple of weeks.
Thoughts, Regina?
So I did hear about this. A couple of years ago, my Air Force friends invited me out to Pensacola to watch the Blue Angels, and they
You never know what Facebook's going to show you next.
and so we it was wonderful. And one of the Blue Angels fighter pilots decided that he was going to take his plane and fly between two hotel buildings. And what he did was he flew sideways between the two hotels. And I think if you looked out, you could have probably seen the two pilots in the planes from your hotel, from the side of your hotel. That's how close they were. Now, this was the 4th of July, and they did buzz the beach, and so somebody called in and complained, and at first they were disciplined, and then I believe the president may have interceded and said they should not be disciplined. That they were exuberant over the 250th birthday of the United States.
There's no excuse for that. No excuse.
That's-
Absolutely, positively terrible. That guy, as Cliff said, should be grounded for 2 weeks.
I remember just back in the late 60s, Argo Martin and Tom Benson were out doing a practice close air support mission with
Do
the
they know
Army.
Peter Pan, or who are these two guys?
Two random aviators.
Okay. Thank you.
Argo Martin lived across the street from me in Tampa, Florida, for about a day, I'd say. And then we both went to Germany. They gave the Army troops a low buzz job, flyby, and it would have been great, except the Stars and Stripes photographer was there and took a picture,
Ooh.
and it showed the F-4s coming low over a tank, and so they spent a couple of weeks cooling their heels.
Was it out of respect? Was it a low fly or out of respect?
Yeah, we're trying to
Okay.
up the morale of the troops on the ground, showing respect to them,
Okay.
doing all
So
that.
I would not be upset about that.
Do they have a tank roll over their, when they're sleeping in their sleeping bags, they have tanks roll over them just to impress them? In between the treads? It's not acceptable. It's like the Costa Concordia, a Costa boat that went on its side over there in Italy. There was just a guy showing off. The captain of the ship was showing off, brought the ship in way too close to the shore, and the ship sank because of it. These actions are not okay. Just my humble opinion.
I'd say if you get away with it, it's okay. If you roll the ship and it sinks,
Then it's not okay.
it's not okay. Some judgment is required.
Yes, sound judgment is required.
So
Was that-
back to
Was that sound, Cliff, to drive that close to the shore?
No, obviously not. So back to TWA Flight 800.
Mhm.
Apparently, one of the people running for office here in Massachusetts has been involved in the investigation. Now, this is 1996,
Right.
so that's 30 years ago. It turns out there was a little hanky-panky in the investigation. For instance, a cargo door on the bottom of the airplane had been crushed in, and somebody had pounded it out so that it didn't look like it had been crushed in. But it did still. They didn't do quite a good enough job. So there are still lawsuits going on this year.
You're kidding.
No,
Who was the person from Massachusetts involved?
I can't remember the guy's name. Not our district.
Oh, okay, all right,
I think
Okay.
it's Mass 6.
okay.
But a lawyer. No, not a lawyer, a physicist.
All right.
But the suspicion is that there was a test of a surface-to-air weapon, and it took place, and they at about the same time the flight was flying by, and they knocked the airliner out of the air, and then we covered it up.
Ooh, that would be a very horrible cover-up.
Yeah.
Just admit your mistake.
Yeah.
Oh,
Hard to
Oh.
admit your mistake.
yeah, something like that. Okay, but you know something, admit your mistake. Okay, we made a mistake, and suck it up. Oof, oof.
Yeah.
Okay,
Well, in 1998, there was a diplomatic conference adopted the Rome Statute of the International Criminal Court and established that as a permanent international court in The Hague, and it's still active today. Back
You
in
want to read this one? I'm going to get it up there. There you go.
how about the building in Manhattan that was sinking last week? Another human error like the walkway, BRD referenced, and that was from Jay. Yeah, Jay, apparently when they looked at what was the construction of that building, a lot of styrofoam. And I'm joking when I say styrofoam. Subpar material. Horribly subpar material.
I think they're going to have to tear that building down. What we're looking at here is the Tewksbury Senior Center. They went down to the tall ships. So that's the group shot
That's awesome.
of the Tewksbury Senior Center that went down to see the tall ships last week. Back over to you guys.
Back in 1744, Elbridge Gerry was born. We know him because of the term gerrymandering.
Oh, you're kidding.
He was governor of Massachusetts, and I had not realized he was the 5th vice president of the United
I
States.
see that.
He passed away in 1814. 1899, James Cagney was born, American actor and dancer.
Dirty rat.
Well, I remember him for, that, but
Yes.
also his Give My Regards to Broadway.
Okay, yes, all right.
So he could sing and dance.
He's very talented.
Sticks in my mind him dancing on a table, a long buffet table-like thing,
Okay,
dancing back and forth. Pretty good. In 1820, someone we've never heard of, Gordon Gould, was born. He invented the laser. He died in 2006. And in 1947, Queen Camilla, Queen Consort of King Charles III of the United Kingdom, was born.
She's having a big birthday party today.
Ah.
she is or he is?
He is. No,
He
she is. They were talking about it on London radio this morning.
Okay, happy birthday to her.
In 1790, Adam Smith passed away, Scottish economist. 1881, Jim Bridger passed away, the American scout and explorer, one of the original mountain men. And in 2009, Walter Cronkite passed away.
Good guy.
Yeah, what an amazing journalist.
Today is the feast of St. Pope Leo IV, World Day for International Justice, and it's World Emoji Day. So if you're big on emojis.
Okay,
FIFA, final game Sunday, Spain versus Argentina.
FIFA has been wonderful for the United States.
Yes, it has.
People coming from countries all over the world have discovered how wonderful America is and how wonderful ranch dressing is. And the TSA has been talking about the fact that people are trying to smuggle ranch dressing back to their country. And the maker of ranch dressing is trying to figure out how to allow people to order ranch dressing to go back to Holland and to England and to other countries because people have discovered ranch dressing.
It's also purchasable after security.
Is it going, okay. So one woman described it as crack. But here's what's wonderful. I think the Democrats are fuming because these people are espousing how amazing the United States is. And I think it's made some of us look again at, yes, it is, isn't it? America is the greatest country on earth.
That's true.
In my opinion, my small little opinion, greatest country on earth. And these people help remind me of that.
I don't know if we'll get to it, but Regina, John and I have shared an article by a Bulgarian, and he talks about the 1%,
Mm-hmm.
and he's talking about in all the world, 8 billion people, that a very small percent live in governments where you have relatively high trust levels, and things are not done through corruption, but through making logical decisions.
Right.
So Sunday, if the smoke from the Canadian fires don't cause a cancellation, we have the last game in New York, and President Trump apparently is going to go.
Oh, that's going to be unbelievable.
Well, there are activities being canceled because of the poor air quality.
So that's been incredible. I got a phone call from a neighbor at the beach who said that it actually covered the sun. It was just unbelievable. And the same day at work, it covered the sun at work. It was hazy because there's unbelievable weather pattern that the fires in Canada could affect our weather here.
Yep.
Incredible.
So I had to get a blood test for 3 different doctors.
Okay.
So I went down to the place down there by Stadium Plaza, and the fellow, it was his first day. He normally works somewhere else, but this rotation of the schedule caused him to show up there in Tewksbury. And he's originally from Puerto Rico, which triggered my embarrassment that we still have Puerto Rico as a colony. I don't know, I don't feel that way about Guam, but Puerto Rico. So I said, I think we should cut Puerto Rico loose. What do you think? And he says, so we should make it a state.
Now, didn't Puerto Rico get the opportunity to vote several years ago, and they chose to remain a colony, if I remember correctly? Maybe 10, 15 years ago, and they said, no, we want to be a colony. And the reason was because what would stop? The flow of money.
Exactly.
That's why Puerto Rico said, no, we don't want to be a state, because the minute that happens, the pocketbook closes. And they didn't want the pocketbook to close.
My plan is to give them 5 years, cut the pocketbook 20% a year,
Smart?
and at the end of 5 years, give them the option to take a vote, and if half the registered voters vote to be a state, they become the 51st state. Otherwise, they're on their own.
Cliff, on the screen is the real reason Puerto Rico does not want to be a state.
Puerto Ricans do not pay federal income tax on money earned in Puerto Rico. However, they do pay other federal taxes, including Social Security, Medicare, and federal unemployment taxes.
So they get all the bennies.
Yeah.
But can you imagine whatever the government has withdrawn from your pay, you kept?
Wow, that'd be nice.
If I was Puerto Rico, I'd want to stay independent, man.
But they're not independent.
Oh, Cliff, I'll just find another word, okay? Sorry. Jeez, crow.
Well, I mean, but that's the
Just
point.
turn the page, Cliff.
All-year daylight savings time is being debated in Congress. It's called the Sunshine Protect Act of 2025. Make daylight savings time permanent choice across the country. It's for me, it's changing the clocks twice a year is not that big a deal, but apparently is to other people.
So what I know about daylight savings time for some people, I have a friend, and she suffers terribly when she loses that hour. Now, it doesn't affect me at all, but for some people, it apparently affects them horribly. For like 1 to 2 weeks, they suffer from losing that hour. I've never been affected by it. I don't know if you've ever been affected by it. John, have you ever been affected by losing the hour?
I feel bad for the school children at the bus stops.
Okay.
We'll have to give, on Halloween, we're going to have to give all the kids flashlights.
Okay.
Because these little tykes, they're going to be standing at the bus stop, wicked cold, in the dead of night darkness.
Okay.
That's the only, other than that, I couldn't care less. But
All
the
right.
kiddos, we need to have some, make sure the street lights are
Yes.
pretty bright at the bus stops, and I don't have a problem with it,
Okay.
other than the kiddos going to bus.
So I would agree. That we'll need to figure out what to do with children at bus stops, making sure that overhead lights are are brighter for them. But I would love to get rid of daylight savings time, because I would like it to be, later, longer at night. And I get we do it as it was a farming thing, and I understand that, but I don't think we need that anymore.
Yeah. Way back in 1973, we tried this experiment, the Emergency Daylight Savings Time Energy Conservation Act, and it was supposed to run about a year and a half. They canceled it after a year. It went from the majority of people think it was a good idea, to a majority of people thinking it was a bad idea.
Oh.
So we're just going to reproduce that.
Some people like you like to to do the spring forward, fall behind. I just, for me it's a pain in the butt. Like I got to remember to do that, and I got to make sure I got to get it right in my car, and then I got to do my oven, and then please do not make me have to go through all that. And I don't have a lot of clocks that have to be done, but all of a sudden I'll say, oh yeah, the bathroom one clock, and the car, and the oven, and because everybody's phone does it automatically.
Yeah.
So if anybody wants to chime in, send John a text. Let us know how you feel about the change of daylight savings time. I'd love to hear about it.
So President Trump gave his speech last night.
Yes.
He did not claim that the 2020 election was fraudulent, but he did claim that China was in hacking our system.
Right.
And the worst part was that the deep state people in the intelligence community were covering it up.
Yes. He actually, and I texted myself a note, so I will remember it for this morning, that one woman in the CIA actually texted or actually conveyed to some people she worked with that she was running a shadow government, that she was hiding from the president. That is terrifying. Terrifying. And our current CIA and FBI have now ferreted and rooted all of this out, and we now know what was happening under the nose of, and he came right out and said, under the nose of Joe Biden and Barack Obama, and what was happening with his first presidency. Now he never said Georgia was stolen. I did not hear that. Am I correct?
You are correct.
Okay, which I thought he was going to say. And I was kind of surprised that he didn't. Your thoughts?
I thought that he brought up the issue that we can't be sure that elections are secure the way we're doing them now.
Right.
And but that he did not say that the 2020 election was stolen.
Right.
Although the numbers are funny. I probably won't live long enough, but looking forward to some book coming out and explaining the numbers to me between 2016, 2020, 2024. But you said we ferreted it all out. I'm not convinced we ferreted it all out.
You're probably right. You're probably right. We haven't ferreted it all out. What we did learn was the involvement of China in rigging elections and wanting to know all about voters who were voting in elections, which makes me extremely uncomfortable. Why did China need to know about you, John McDonough, Regina Faticanti, and Eileen DelRossi? Why did China need to know about us as voters? What's so important about us?
Why doesn't Google tell us what information they're collecting off us every time we click around on the computer?
Right.
That's where they're getting it from.
Right. And what's amazing is that China restricts Google in China because they don't want Chinese people knowing what's going on in the rest of the world. Yet they have no problem investigating the rest of us. I was very unsettled when the president kept talking about the amount of information that the Chinese were collecting. And I'm thinking to myself, for what purpose? And so I'm asking you, for what purpose?
Well, I think they're collecting it because they're looking to see how they can manipulate what's going on in this country. China has a broad view. Also, China has a broad view of their responsibilities as a government, so that if you're of Chinese extraction in the United States, they tend to think of you as one of their people, not one of our people.
Us. Okay.
But this
Okay.
is the United States. You're an American, so you're not Chinese, you're not Korean, you're not French. But China doesn't see it that way. And I think that I hear once in a while about Chinese police stations in the United States.
Yes.
It's a scary thought.
Until we change mail-in voting and no license needed to vote, the election fraud argument will never go away. And that's from Jay. Jay, I agree. I think we need to do something about mail-in voting, because that was the issue with Georgia that I'm shocked that never came out, was the allegation of all these ballots that came in afterwards that were copies and counted. So I thought that was going to get discussed. It didn't, so it sort of left me hanging. But the amount of conversation that the president had last night on China was very unsettling. And Xi Jinping was probably sitting in his high-back chair laughing.
Probably so,
Yeah, I'm sure he was enjoying the whole show.
Cliff, when do you think President Ping, Bing, whatever his name is, the Chinese guy, will not be president of China? What year?
Well, I figure he's probably good for another 8 years.
And Putin?
I think Putin wants to hang on forever.
Mhm.
I think he's in trouble, and he could be gone in 12 months.
Oh, really?
Through an election?
No.
They're going to kill him.
Well, have a coup.
Oh, never mind. I'm not going to fool around with words. 'Cause
Well,
you
I
just-
don't think
I'm
that
done.
necessarily they're going to kill him,
Just turn the page.
although this is the anniversary of the execution of the Tsar back in 1918.
Right.
But I think he could get forced out.
By who?
Uh,
Which group?
the military could do it,
Okay.
or
And
perhaps some other political group.
then say the war with Ukraine's over?
I don't know. It could be that some military guy with a bright idea for defeating Ukraine could say, I'm tired of being frustrated, let's get rid of Putin and do this right.
Oh, okay. All right, interesting. Okay.
So,
Hey, Eileen, how are you?
And so, you know what I also was wondering?
Happy
Why
Friday.
didn't Putin
You're the
talk,
best.
why didn't the president talk about UFOs?
I think he felt that would have distracted from his message.
Okay. Because I thought there was some kind of lead up to yesterday having a conversation about UFOs and everything like that, and thank you, and that it never came about. So I was a little disappointed that where was my UFO conversation? So, and also, until the media stops carrying the water for the Democrats, voter fraud will never go away. That is very, very, very true. Absolutely true.
So,
Very much so.
we have
Morning,
been
Eileen.
joined by Eileen DelRossi, who is now are you now a senior citizen?
I do not have my AARP card yet, no.
Okay.
I turned 46 on Tuesday,
Wednesday?
Congratulations, happy birthday.
Wednesday?
the 14th. That was Tuesday. right?
Oh, Miss
Bastille Day.
France, Bastille Day.
Yep.
Holy
And
smokes.
just so everybody knows, if you have the Mass Lottery app and they give you a birthday surprise, and it's either Keynote, this past week was Lottery Week, so everyone could get a free Keynote ticket for 3 numbers. And for Lottery Week, they give you quick pick for the number games for 10 days for free.
Oh, very nice.
I
Okay.
did not
It's
realize
under
that.
promotions.
All right.
It's exciting. Get something back.
Speaking of senior citizens, we now have the title for President Biden's book about his time in office,
What's it called?
Promise Me America.
Did you hear him speaking the other day? It was sad,
You know,
very sad.
so it was originally supposed to be out in September, but he was apparently persuaded to hold it until November after the elections.
How come?
You don't think you're going to get the truth, do you?
No, I'm asking Cliff. What does Cliff think?
I feel like that was an I don't know face. Do you know?
No, that was isn't it obvious face. I think that,
Oh, don't you love it that when Cliff says, "Are you that stupid you don't know?"
Well, because I would have thought he would want to come out to have an impact on the midterms.
yeah, and I think that the Democrats think it would be negative.
Oh, because I mean, let's understand. The Democrats wanted him to go away and didn't know how to make it happen.
Yeah. It doesn't matter how positive the spin is in the book, the events will bring up counterspin.
Yes. Okay.
And I think the Democrats,
Keep striking out.
my
Graham Plattner.
my brother, the progressive, my middle brother, it says, can the Democrats come up with a platform rather than just a personality to run on the election?
So let me ask you, how honest do you think he is going to be in his book, about the people who stabbed him in the back, like Nancy Pelosi and George Clooney?
I don't know.
We'd have to ask Jill, because I'm sure she wrote the book.
Yeah.
It was either Jill or the Auto Pen wrote the book.
Right. Well, that was I read a couple of articles, read a few things online, and like, oh, the Auto Pen wrote the book for. I wrote the book for Joe, and I was laughing. I thought, this is hysterical. It would be a great book if Joe or Jill came out and with all the dirt of what happened to actually get him out of the race. That would be interesting. And there's a woman who actually was a huge Democratic fundraiser, and her book is actually coming out before the midterms. The Democratic Party was trying to get her to stall that book, and she said, "Screw you, I'm not stalling it." And her book is All the Dirt, which it should have been called All the Dirt. But that book is probably going to be interesting to read because she's spilling the tea, because she was right there front and center. And she is spilling the tea. And her book's out right now, I think, and I think that would probably be a very good read.
Do you remember what the name of the book is?
No, and she's an Asian woman, but she was a huge Democratic fundraiser. And here's the problem. I think, and the Democrats are furious with her now. And I think she may have also said, okay, see you later, and left the Democratic Party because they're very angry with her for spilling the tea.
Apparently John Fetterman said something about, I will leave the Democratic
Yes.
Party over support for Israel.
Yes,
That was interesting.
that was very interesting. And I So here's what I don't understand. When did this start happening? When people decided that supporting Israel was bad. When did the shift occur in this country?
I would say
I don't understand.
the Nova Musical Festival.
What year was that?
Oh, it was like 3 years ago.
I agree. I believe about 2021.
The-
And I'll get in more into that later. With
Help me
something.
understand, because Israel's okay.
Lindy Lie?
Oh, thank you, John. Thank you. That's her. That's her.
That's cool.
Yes, you are likely thinking of former DNC official commentator Lindy Lie. She wrote a memoir titled Unburdened, a former Democrat insider's shocking account, which details her experiences, fundraising efforts, and the collapse of the Democratic establishment during the Biden era. Thank you, John. That is her, Lindy Lie. That's her, Cliff. And the book is supposed to be fascinating, because she just rips the Band-Aid right off.
I'm going to have to stop
Yeah.
playing Mahjong and get back to reading, obviously.
Yeah.
You're good at sending books.
Hmm?
You're really good at sending books. I got a new one, Pope Leo and the AI generation.
Ooh, okay.
Which we'll get to in just a second. So the Hamas was brilliant when they went in and killed those 1,400 mostly young Israelis at the music festival because of the reaction they provoked. And they're now claiming that up to 70,000 Gazans have been killed by Israel in retaliation. But we got a shift then. And now we have, from the river to the sea, being shouted on college campuses. Now,
The name of that book, people are texting me, is called Unburdened. It's on your school, I can put it on the screen here. Sorry, Cliff, to interrupt you. And that's the book. That's what it looks like.
Yes.
Burdened by. So go off to your favorite books. $32.
And too bad they couldn't get it in soft cover. It'll sell so well that it'll finally get in soft cover. But you know, if you go to Target, sometimes Target has books 30% off.
It'll come digitally.
Okay.
I would think.
Digital. Oh, thanks, John. That's right. You can get the digital.
Digital.
Yep, absolutely. But that's the book that I wouldn't read Joe Biden's book, because he's not going to tell the truth. But her book, and I've seen a few interviews with her.
Well, page 1, as you know, The Thing.
Yeah, and apparently this book is really just her ripping the Band-Aid off. It's supposed to be pretty well done, and the Democratic Party is furious with her, which means it's got to be a good book. But thanks, John.
You're welcome.
I don't understand. I understand that. Okay, so Hamas went in and did a horrible thing, but I don't understand why then our country didn't say, Hamas, you were bad. Not Israel, you were bad. Israel's our friend. We need Israel in that part of the world.
Regina, but blind trust in the execution of all the Palestinians, not just the Palestinian government people, all the Palestinians, they're killing them all. I call it a Holocaust. I know that they get really ticked off about that. And also, one of my friends is begging me to call them out that most people in news media are Jewish. If you look at their name on the screen,
Okay.
Oh, don't say, oh, it's the truth. You look at the guys, and here's Homer Willenstein. Okay. So they're all going to be leaning towards keep Israel. It's like having McDonough and say, well, what's he going to say against Frigg? He's not going to say anything against Ireland. Just, that's how it's going to go. And I got a text for you, Regina.
Thank you. Senator Fetterman was the one the media said had brain damage. He's the only sane one in the party. Thank you, Texter. I would have to agree with you.
Is he the one that had a heart attack or
No, he had a stroke.
a stroke? Okay. Yeah.
And he actually really recovered very well from the stroke. And some people are saying the stroke was really a great thing for him because he came back thinking a very different way, like much more logically. And I actually like John Fetterman very much now. Whereas before, before stroke, I wasn't too keen on him, but I'm really liking Fetterman. Big supporter of Israel, but big supporter of common sense. Big supporter of common sense.
Something we're lacking majorly.
Yes.
So anyway, the other thing is
Thanks for the scrumptious donut, by the way. It was good.
Ice cream flavored donut.
Thank you.
college professors
Mm-hmm.
have been agitating the students. And we see a lot of anti-Israeli activity on campuses.
Not this one.
Okay.
Mm-mm. Not this one.
Those pesky students, they ruin the place.
So we're down to what? 10 minutes. So AI is a big topic, and it's going to cause major disruptions in the area of employment.
Mhm.
So I've come up with a suggestion on how we should get ahead of this and deal with it. And I call it the optional sabbatical year. For the federal government funds a 380-day education or training period for people ages 32 to 42.
Is this Cliff's World?
Yes.
Okay.
Why does it stop at 42?
Because there's only so much money in the world,
Okay.
and by 42 you ought to be committed on your new path where
Okay.
you're going.
What happens on the sabbatical?
You have to be in preparation for a new job, either advancing your skills in the job you have or making the decision to shift to a new job. For instance, someone could say, oh, I think I'd like to teach at Greater Lowell Technical High School. So you get a year to get the education you need to take your job skill over to Greater Lowell. And that would be a case where the government would provide you with some basic allowance for quarters and money for food and living expenses. That's one way. Another way is if you're working for a company, say you're working for Boeing and you want to upgrade from the job you're in to a new job in Boeing, the government would allow Boeing to take a tax deduction for you to spend that year in the thing. So it's to refine your skills in the path you're on or to shift to a new vocation.
Okay.
So I think we ought to consider that.
So we're going to take the generation of immediate gratification and say, it's okay, you made the wrong decision. You don't like this? Here, let me give you 380 days off paid by our federal government and provide you food and tax benefits, and you can choose another career for a year, and then you can go back to the sabbatical and choose another. I'm just saying, get constructive criticism.
One shot, not
One-
multiple
oh,
shots.
One. Okay.
But you do agree we're going to have job disruption with AI. Some jobs will become redundant.
But I honestly think that's why John's suggestion, too, of incorporating as much technology into our curriculum now is imperative to keep our students employed.
Yeah.
And creative, new ways to make sure they can keep a job.
I think you're right. So, in the meantime, Kathy Hochul's trying to, the governor of New York is trying to hold this all back by banning all data centers.
Yeah, so here's what I don't understand. You want us to go green and use electricity, but you don't want to build a data center. What do you want? You can't, because you can't have both, because that's not going to work. You can't have both, because all the data is sucking up the electricity that you want us to be using for stoves and cars and whatnot. So you can't have both. So we're going to have data centers someplace. I don't know where. I understand people's reluctance. Now, I understand that a very big one is going up in Tewksbury, and the people of Tewksbury, and we've talked about it here on the show, and the people of Tewksbury have fought it, but the town of Tewksbury has brought in that data center, and obviously because the town of Tewksbury is going to be
I think you're talking about the battery center.
funded, is that the battery center?
Yeah.
Okay, so,
It's a battery.
Is that a battery center? I thought, okay, my mistake, John.
No, it's what it does is stores energy all day,
Yes?
and when you need it, you can suck off that battery until.
Okay,
And the governor stepped in and said, permission granted.
yes, you're right,
Overruled the town.
you're right, okay.
That's my takeaway.
So we're going to have to build some of these data centers. So Kathy Hochul is going to have to recognize that she can't be sucking up to the Green New Deal and not have a
Well, I
center.
think what the city also is just ignoring, technology is going to take this data center away. Now, if you look back at, not Eileen, before Eileen was born, the NASA computers took up rooms.
Yes,
Something that's in your phone, and you have more computer power in your phone. So I can see the data centers being replicated within 10 years, something as big as your phone. Maybe that's a big leap in imagination, but what is Lowell going to do when Markley just abandons the property?
Yeah, that's another case of,
What are we going to do?
good question. Very good question.
Well, if we don't do something, China will leap forward in the AI area,
Right,
and then we'll be buried.
right. And we'll be sugar out of luck.
Cliffy, you can take that mic, turn it on its side. It just decided to go. And take the one that's in front of you. It's got to be on its side, or I won't know it's dead batteries.
Okay. So, Eileen, how is your summer going?
oh, very interesting.
Oh, tell us more.
So I took a ride up to the, so I developed this habit of like, there's something wrong with my gas tank. I can't be going through this much gas so quickly. So I decided to ignore the gas light that was on yesterday.
That was
And,
dumb.
yep, and I ran out of gas on Pawtucket Boulevard.
Doesn't surprise me.
Yep, yep.
Gotta ignore those little lights.
Yep, and then I called AAA, and I ordered a roadside assistance, and there was nothing, so I looked up the street, and there was this Joe's Automotive. I was like, it's kind of risky, I don't have the best luck. I mean, it's curvy, but I'm like, can I make it? And I had to be home because Anthony had his physical at 2:30, so I had to pick him up. We had to go to Walmart, and so I just decided to walk up to Joe's Automotive, ask them for some gas because I'm wicked smart, and I got going on the way, and I survived the walk, which was pretty amazing. So that was good.
It wasn't a bad day. It wasn't extra hot, thank God.
No, but I then I took Anthony to his physical, and I thought that kids, when they were I thought it was not until 16 that all kids had complete access to their medical records. And I talked to a friend of mine who had kids like 16 and older, and then a child Anthony's age, and I said, what is this? We can't see their portal anymore at 13. She's like, no, it's 16.
You gotta hold that thought. We gotta go to break. We'll be back, thanks.
It's crazy.
That doesn't make okay.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to City Life Show. I'm Cliff Krieger, your host. My co-host Eileen DelRossi is sitting next to me, and beyond is Regina Faticanti, professor, member of the Sheriff's Office down in Billerica, and of course we have our producer John McDonough.
I got a text for Regina to read.
Now, everyone is concerned about water usage and electricity usage. Most of the people making the decision all have sprinklers for their lawn and electricity for their second home. Very good, texter. Thank you. And Mandami was concerned about telling people you have to raise your temperature in your air conditioner to 78, but I'm wondering if he did that. And I also know that he shut off, we talked about this, a lot of people's air conditioning, a lot of people's electricity, so that Taylor Swift could have all the electricity she needed for her wedding. And then Mandami actually got an invite to that wedding, so he got to go and eat some nice food and have some nice drinks. And
What was his gift?
I don't, Taylor Swift asked for no gifts.
Oh.
Because I think she has, as a billionaire.
A lot of packing to do, too.
Yeah, she has
With 1,000 people at the wedding, 1,000 things I have to pack.
Right, exactly. She gave away some free gifts.
Okay. School committee.
Oh, yes.
How did it go?
Interesting. So one of the very top on the agenda, the permission to enter, is we're paying over $10 million for students and out-of-district support. So we're saying Lowell can't handle this. And
Well, wait.
go ahead.
The out-of-district, I'm sorry, the permission to enter memo mixes students who are going to school elsewhere with
On IEPs, yeah.
with students who are doing field trips.
No.
Yeah, that was in there.
Oh, yeah, I know, the UMass Lowell. So so we pay about 56, what was the amount?
We paid $9.857
All right.
million for students going to school somewhere else.
No, I did. I actually created a spreadsheet. Actually. Oh, look at you.
This take a lot of time.
So yeah, so the field trips were on there too, and any expenditure over $5,000 is usually on there.
It was all mixed up. I thought it was a poor presentation.
Right, and it really was. And I honestly wish they would have kind of separated it out from like a general fund. And I know the money comes from all different places, but I had so many issues with it because I thought, in my own head, I have my own child who has out-of-district transportation, right, and out-of-district schooling, and it's been life-changing for him. But again, if he didn't have to go through that transition and Lowell could have provided for him, it would be so much better. And it's not that anything they're doing at my son's school in Newton is revolutionary. It's small groups, small teacher to student ratio, and specifically designed programs. We have knowledge of these teachers in the district that we need to have like a language-based classroom in every school. EDBD classroom. And if we had that,
EBD, what?
it's emotionally behaviorally disturbed.
Oh, okay.
Students, we do have the LeBlanc school, it's an 8 through 12. But if we could just really do the work and focus in on where we're wasting money and what we can do to make it easier, I just think it would be so much easier on families. And then you get the transportation piece, which is a killer. And, the district chose Nick's transportation to be out of district. And it's not we've been blessed. So the first year was NRT, and we had a great driver. But then the district switched to Nick's transportation, and that was kind of scary for a while. And that's what really led to me quitting my job, because like I tell people all the time, I'll sell my soul to the devil for my child to like school. And he really, ever since he started going there, he likes schools. He gets straight A's. He's doing good, and he's now a reader. He wasn't a reader at the beginning of his 6th grade year. Then at the end of his 7th grade year, he's reading on a 5th, 6th grade level. So the ability for them to do so much with students, but why can't we do that here in Lowell and have that type?
Right.
And that's kind of what I've been pushing for ever since I was elected, because I saw the need for this. But so I wanted to make a motion off of that permission to enter to kind of integrate the permission to enter into a special ed subcommittee meeting. And they looked at me like I was crazy, you can't really do that off of a specific item, permission to enter. We just need to vote on it, which is right. And Connie Martin made a good point. I have a 10,000 fields view of what I was trying to say and do, but I do want to discuss it, and we have discussed it in different special ed subcommittee meetings, because it's a quick fix to a long-term problem, sending all these students out of district. And
It's an average of $135,000 per student. But the range is from $3,000 to $360,000.
yeah. And then there's
What's the difference in the support between $3,177 and $360,524?
Level of disability.
Right, but then if you look at the Lighthouse School, I think we're paying for 7 students to go there. Let me just find it.
That's okay.
So
The respect we have for life in Massachusetts is miraculous. That kiddo's life, who can't speak, who's in a power chair, moves it around with a pencil in his mouth, who cannot communicate, who cannot physically eat, he or she's on an IV, deserves an education.
right.
It's one of our laws in Massachusetts, and
Yes.
we respect that.
Yes.
All right, yes, which I get, but when all right, so an out-of-district placement like Advocates Inc., Accept Collaborative, Bi-County Collaborative, Crystal Springs, Landmark School, right? Those are all things that our teachers are trained to do, too. And there is, of course, those kids that have intricate IV needs, that have stomach tubes, that truly need a residential medical need, which I completely recognize. But why are we making it that a kid with a globally complex learning disability that doesn't need a G-tube or IVs or medication every day have to be outplaced?
So why aren't we creating small classrooms, 10 students within our school system to meet the needs of these children? Why aren't we doing that?
Because that's what would take the work. It would really hone in on teaching our special ed students and helping them succeed.
So why aren't we doing that?
I've been trying to figure that out.
So who's our special ed director?
Alice Brown LeGrand, and she's
And-
amazing. And like I said, we have discussed this before. I just think especially with this coming out, it needs to be addressed.
Because it would save us millions of dollars. Millions.
Would the kiddo get the proper education?
Well, if the child got the same level of education in Lowell that they were getting at the school that we were driving them 30 miles to go to and paying $180,000 for them to attend per year, if they were getting the same thing, yes, then yes, they would be getting the same education. But we have to figure out how to deliver that education here in Lowell. And we have to decide that it's important enough to us to make it happen.
I got 3 texts for you, kiddo.
Okay. Back in the day, we all grew up with big families, so we all had competition amongst siblings. That played a big factor in being a student back then. You didn't want to be labeled the idiot in the family. And that's from Jay. Thank you, Jay. My father-in-law was complaining the other day that his second home in Florida, the insurance was going up. Yeah, I've heard that's a tough one. Why is it the government's problem that the homeless don't have a home? It was their choice to become homeless for the most part. Go get a job. Why do we just put them on welfare?
Because it's a business.
Because, yeah, thank you. Welfare is a business.
And
Absolutely.
it makes money. Look at all the nonprofits in Lowell that
That's
are
right.
making money.
Absolutely.
And then we have, out of Lowell's Lowell's total population, 17% of that are students, right? And that's where they get the majority of their Chapter 70 funding.
Yes.
And so forth. So why are we taking from the most vulnerable population who truly needs it for the other purposes? Like, it's like, come to Lowell. We accept you because now we have all the money in the world.
Right.
But how is that fair to our students, to our kids, to grow up like this? I say it often, like, I didn't grow up seeing drug addicts at
No.
Jay's Variety.
No.
It wasn't the normal. We didn't grow up with people knocking at your door for money, or people in the middle of the day in downtown Lowell, all doped up on heroin. Right by the Shrine Church. I went to confession for my birthday with my godmother.
I was driving to work the other morning, and 2 police officers scooted, had to turn their lights on, and this is about 6 o'clock in the morning, and scooted in front of me at Towers News because there was about a dozen homeless people for the past 3 mornings have decided they were going to camp out there on the sidewalk and in the doorway, and somebody must have called. And the police said, "No, you can't. You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here." So this morning when I drove by, and I said, "Okay, they got the news. They cannot stay here." And I thought, thank goodness that the police took it upon themselves to move them, because I'm not going to go into Towers and buy my paper because I'm afraid. I'm not going to go there and do, because I'm now afraid. So you cannot have homeless people, drug-addicted people, in your doorway, in the doorway of your business.
Towers is out of business, isn't it?
Yes, but there are people
But
who
the
live
point
upstairs.
is there.
Right,
yeah.
there is a residence upstairs,
Yeah.
so there are some people who do live upstairs.
I got to commend Towers News for their countless years of service to this neighborhood.
Yes,
You could depend on Towers News. In a blizzard, they're open.
yes.
They have bread and milk in a freaking blizzard.
Yep.
Everything's closed, 10 tons of snow, and somehow they managed to stay open with bread and milk for the neighborhood.
And I heard
So
they have
what-
a good back room in there.
I have no idea about the back room,
I'm gonna say something to you.
but no, I just got to commend them for always being open for the neighborhood.
Yes. I've met the people who own Towers, and they're lovely people. That's all I can say. They're lovely people. And I have nothing bad to say about them.
Okay, wrapping up the question of sending students off. We've talked about sending students who have difficulties. So my wife asked me, are we identifying and sending any genius level students off to special schools?
I'm sure.
Because that is also, and people do not realize it, that is part of the special ed law, that students who are on the genius level also get extra assistance to help them get ahead.
per pupil spending by state. 12.1 thousand Mississippi, 17.6 thousand is the U.S. average, which Lowell is, New York is 30,000 a student. Wow.
So why is Mississippi spending only 12.1 thousand?
They have smarter kids than Massachusetts.
Lower teacher to student population too in Mississippi, one of the lowest.
Thank you,
Okay.
Jay.
And they have recently increased their reading scores in Mississippi. So,
And it provides for it to be very uneven. A per pupil student ratio for one student, no matter what in Lowell, is the same. So say it's, up to 20,000. I believe that's somewhat where it is right now. 20,000 a year, but my kid's getting that, and a regular student who goes to Lowell Public is getting that. My child is being transported out of district and in a smaller school with low teacher to student ratio. So it creates an uneven balance, an imbalance. And I just think for our students in Lowell, we deserve to do better and to save money and to provide them, no matter what their parents' education or vocation or demographic level, socioeconomic status, we need to do what's best, even if the parent doesn't know what's going on. And I've seen it all too many times in my career as a special ed teacher. Oftentimes, districts take advantage of the fact that parents don't advocate. And it's sad that it's the ones that speak up that get what they need for their students, or they hire lawyers or advocates and so forth, and they have the funds to do that. But the majority of our parents don't. What's that saying? Like, you got to do what's best for everybody, even if no one's looking or paying attention. Right. And if we don't have that mentality, then that's why we're seeing the kids fall through the cracks so often. And we don't want that. We want to be doing better for our kids. And then it's a whole system of kids thinking, who really cares about me, or what's best for me? And it leads to a multitude of behaviors that may end up having our students hang out with you.
And that's exactly what is going to happen. I have a friend, her name is Rebecca, she's part of our Monday Night Dinner Club. When she used to teach fifth grade, she would say she could see in her classroom the children who were going to be graduating and hanging out with me.
And it's just unfortunate because there is no one simple answer, and I completely recognize that. But if we don't bring attention to it, then there's not going to be a solution. We're just going to keep doing the definition of insanity, doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. And how much more can we keep doing this?
Right. I just think that we need to explore, and even when I was on the school committee, we need to explore bringing out of districts placement back into the city and teaching children within the city, saving the money, because you're doing the drive and the tuition. I mean, it just would save us a ton of money.
And I know that John Dock was brought as like a special ed school mecca.
Right.
But the fact is that the John Dock is going to be a transfer of the 80, which is assigned as an autism school, day school, private or public day school in Lowell public schools, and you can't mix that population with all the rest of the populations.
Can you say what's in the Lower Lee School now?
Laura Lee is an emotionally behaviorally disturbed school that feeds into the LeBlanc. So you have to have an IEP for emotional behavioral disorder.
So how many special needs schools does the city of Lowell have? You can't know everything.
Laura Lee, LeBlanc, 80. And the Bridge program That's for kids that do not have an IEP, but are on an alternative path. So I would say in the
A lot of wiggly words here that the audience doesn't understand.
alternative placement is this kid is a disruption and is having a lot of difficulty. They don't qualify for special education services, but they're disrupting the classroom too much. So oftentimes they'll be sent to the Bridge program or the Malloy too. The Malloy is a mix of special ed and alternative school students.
Be interesting to find out how many of these children come from single-parent homes.
Most of them.
And not having the dad in the house, is that having an effect on this kid's mental illness? It's something the government should look at.
I think
Because what we're doing is not working.
not having a stable home life, because there are lots of other things taking place, and the lack of good parenting is taking, the lack of good parenting,
It's being replaced by the iPad.
right? Because it takes a lot of energy to be a good parent, a lot of energy.
Moving on. This improvement in reading that we talked about Monday, have you learned anything more about that, Eileen?
The Ignite reading program. So what I
Yeah.
did realize is, so they piloted it at a couple of schools, 674 kids. So on McAuliffe was one of the schools that piloted it, and they had first graders who were reading on a kindergarten level, and once they did the Ignite program, they were more on a first grade level. But we're seeing gaps between fourth and kindergarten. You know what I mean? We're seeing fourth graders that are reading at first grade or kindergarten level. And so the gap's a little bigger. I don't think I really even finished it, which is a great program, but why aren't we doing it consistently?
Why
right?
aren't we doing it consistently?
And it's 15 minutes of intervention. It's on a computer, it has tutors and so forth, and the kids are really buying into it, which is great. But, so I know what the answer would be. I guess it's a response to intervention for kids on like a tier 2 who may just need more intensive intervention, but not really an IEP, and hasn't gone through the special ed evaluation process. And so the 15 minutes is enough for regular ed students to kind of close that gap,
Right?
where it wouldn't be for a
Right.
special ed student. They would need more
Right.
time on a consistent
Right.
basis. But I guess that's my biggest thing too, is like we just need to do what's best for these kids. Like the COVID kids, the current 7th and 6th, going into the school year. The current 7th and 8th graders are COVID kids who missed kindergarten and first grade, and they have the biggest lack of ability, common sense.
Horrible.
Like the 7th graders going into 7th graders this year don't even have the core stability because
Right.
they weren't sitting crisscross applesauce on the rug. And so that's a very vulnerable population. I even asked at a school committee meeting if we could implement some type of program to track these students, because it's concerning. I think that got shot down, but I tried.
I've even seen it at the college level, where students who were at home for a couple of years, now coming off to college, and they have lost communication skills. They've just lost communication skills.
With the older kids who were
Yeah.
in like 7th and 8th grade when COVID hit, you see a lot of social emotional.
Yes.
A lot of those issues,
Yes.
the lack of communication, shut down, don't
Right.
think you have to respond.
It's terrible what we did to children in this country by shutting down the country for 2 years is terrible. And I don't think that people want to recognize it. I don't think that people think it's real. But sit in a classroom and you will realize it's real. And I don't even know if parents realize it's real, because it was a gradual decrease in the loss of skill level. And so you don't even realize your child is losing the skill level because you're home with them all day.
Right, and the world shut down.
Right,
and
right,
so
exactly.
every student really lost everything.
Yes,
But
right.
you don't see the individual lack of progress,
Right.
lack of development until they get to
Right.
you at the
And
college
I
level.
see and I say, wow, I just don't, for the first time ever, I had to refer one of my regular ed students to, for some emergency assistance, because I was afraid for her.
And the scary part is the lack of common sense to know that they're not in a healthy position.
Right. It was, I said to her, I'm going to refer you to get some help because I'm concerned. Because I'm concerned. And in all my 23 years of teaching, I've referred one other person, but he was a veteran, and he kind of fell off that wagon. And I referred him right to Veteran Services, and they scooped him right up, because we have a great Veteran Services program at Northern Essex.
So you're mandated under the 51A
Yes.
to...
Yes, we're mandated, and I'm a mandated reporter at work, too. But I just felt like I need to get this girl, this young woman, some help. Because I was scared.
It is, yeah.
What we did during COVID to young people was terrible.
Okay, so Eileen wants to talk about the 21st Century Cures Act.
Yes. So as I mentioned right before the break, I took my son for a physical. And I want to say that I mentioned this to a friend of mine. Once Anthony turned 13, and I would make doctor's appointments for him, I would no longer see it on the portal, which for someone like me, who often forgets things and has to look back, I was like, where did the appointment go? Did I really make it? And so I was sharing with a friend of mine, like they took my access away from a portal because she has kids 16 older and one around Anthony's age, 13, 14. And she's like, no, it's not till 16. And I was like, okay, maybe I'm just not doing something right, because I can believe that often. But when we went for his physical yesterday, they asked him if he wanted a login sent to his email so he can have complete access to the portal.
Ooh.
And I honestly, I was like, this is crazy. I said, I want access back. He's 13.
Right.
Like, he doesn't know these things.
Right.
But if you think about it, this law was implemented in 2021.
Okay.
And now it's a mass state law that it protects teens 13 to 17 if they have something confidential to tell the doctor that they do. So I was, shortly after I was sent out by the doctor, so she could ask Anthony questions.
So you can't see it?
He's going to give me his password because I'm like not okay with any of this.
But Anthony's going to give you his password, but if he didn't, you wouldn't be able to see it.
Right? And I probably did not act appropriately because my first thought was, I don't want you to become a furry or a transgender.
If he was going to be a furry transgender, you would notice it, right?
Right. But I guess, but that's probably the reason I guess they send all parents out. But I'm like, I'm going to get in trouble for this.
How many furries do we have in the city of Lowell school system?
That's a great question. And
You probably have a few, I'm sure.
Yeah, I mean.
Why do we allow them in school?
But the reason is because of this new Massachusetts law that
Why
was
can't I bring my
adopted
dog?
2021.
I'll drop my dog off at the Rogers School, educate this.
Why is Massachusetts allowing 13-year-olds to have the confidentiality that their parents no longer have access to their portal? And that's Massachusetts is helping kids who have issues that they need to work through with the parent instead of against the parent. And to me, that's just giving them a tool to work against the parent if they don't want to agree to it. I know Anthony has friends that have changed their gender at his school. I mean, it's a big population of kids.
Regina, I got two for you.
With the decline of sports in the younger generation, that has an effect on discipline and structure. Just my opinion, and that's from Jay. Great text, Jay. Thank you. The simple answer is stop coddling the kids. The younger generation is giving everything, and they don't understand responsibility and how to grow up.
And
Regina, when you skedaddle, I'm going to do the announcements. Thanks.
Okay.
And when they hear the word no, it's like, okay,
they can't
I'm a
handle
girl,
the word
but
no.
Mom, I'm
I
turning
got a
into a boy.
question for you, Eileen
Yes.
and Regina. So, if there's this confidentiality and things go sideways with the kid, who apologizes to the parents?
No one. And wasn't this law enacted during the Roe versus Wade conversation?
2021.
And Massachusetts decided, okay, we're going to make sure, especially young girls and young women, have access to ask medical questions regarding abortion services.
And I mean, driving home, Anthony says, Mom, will you never say that ever again, what you said in the office? I'm like, oh, Anthony, I'm just scared. Like, driving's crazy in this world. He's going to be driving in a few years. And, you know, I'm like, you have all this access, and it just doesn't make sense to me. He's like, Mom, but you know I'm safe, right? And I said, I know you are. I know you're safe. I know you're okay. But it's like all of these what ifs. We live in a world of so much uncertainty now, and it's scary to be raising a kid right now. And that was just the icing on the top of the cake. I was like, nope, I want access back to his portal. I want it under my name. They're like, no, it's state law. We have to do it. And which I get. And I'm happy he can have a confidential way to reach out to a doctor if he has a question that I have absolutely no clue about. And it happens often. But in terms of what we're seeing in this country and what's happened nationally, it really leads into it. It's it's the gateway opening drug, really.
Because remember, Massachusetts has made a law that when you're 16, you no longer need parental permission to have an abortion.
I think, John, that's, I know, I need.
Time to say goodbye, Regina.
Bye, Regina.
Bye, Regina.
See everybody later.
Okay.
Have a wonderful weekend.
Thanks, Regina. Thanks for getting up extra early. Have a good day at work. Have a good weekend. Okay, so I'm going to do the announcements. There's only like 3 or 4 because there's not much happening over the weekend. This is coming up next week. Mark Lay wants to have a cookout, and you're invited. All you got to do is be in touch with Mark Lay. And I'm sorry this is a crappy picture of it, but you have to email them it's RSVP only. So the location for where it's going to be, I don't know where it's going to be. And
It's not on the screen.
oh, thanks for mentioning that, Cliff. Put it back up there again. There we go.
There's only 2 pages.
So they got an address of RSVP at marklaygroup.com. So take a picture of this with your phone and go to the cookout. It's going to be free. Thank you, Mark Lay. Moving right along, the clock dedication is going to be the 18th, which is tomorrow, Saturday, July 18th, down at City Hall, 10:30 a.m. Please join the City of Lowell dedicating the City Hall clock tower in memory of veteran and devoted civil servant Wally Burns. So hope you can make it down there tomorrow. Today is the 17th. Lowell Senior Center has the traveling chef, so they have a yummy lunch there. Just don't know what it is. And then don't forget, on the week we serve lunch 7 days a week. So we got meatloaf on Saturday and shrimp scampi with pasta on Sunday. Not bad for $2.
You can keep that.
And that's it. And that is the Tewksbury Senior Center, their trip to the tall ships. That's them pictured in the shot that you're looking at right now. Back over to Cliff. Thanks.
All right. So, for you independent voters, apparently 65% of voters are registered as independents. Dr. Shiva, who's an independent candidate for Senate, is having a free community barbecue in Cambridge. They say, enjoy delicious food, meet neighbors, and have meaningful conversations about the future of Massachusetts. Saturday, 25 July. It says 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I wonder what that means in reality. Anyway, there's a location, 701 Concord Ave in Cambridge, and you can probably go to their website and reserve a spot at the barbecue. So there's that going on. I thought it was President Trump celebrated the first U.S. citizen to become a saint in the Catholic Church. Francesca Cabrini, a, quote, woman of boundless faith and limitless charity, Italian-American hero and the first American citizen ever proclaimed a saint in the Catholic Church. The first American-born saint was Elizabeth Ann Seton, but she was after Frances Cabrini, and Cabrini was born and raised in Italy, later became a U.S. citizen, and I thought it was nice that the president recognized that.
Yes, I agree.
Heritage Properties is going to build a 6-story mixed-use building of approximately 200 units on the footprint of the old district courthouse on Hurd Street in downtown Lowell.
On Hurd Street. Oh, where the courthouse used to be.
Yeah.
I was just recently helping a friend of mine, and he ended up getting a place at Heritage Properties. I have nothing but great things to say about them. Gretchen at Heritage Properties, you usually get her when you first call. She's the nicest lady, and she knows everything. So I have good things to say about Heritage Property.
So this meets the goals of Lowell's Forward Master Plan. And it's the Sun says a major milestone by the Golden Administration and City Council to revitalize underutilized properties through strategic development. The district court opened in 1925, but it's been vacant since 2020 when the new judicial center, the Cornelius F. Kiernan Judicial Center, opened on Jackson Street. So that gives some hope for the future, but I'm not sure it fixes the homeless problem.
It doesn't.
Why is the homeless our problem?
Exactly. Because it gets people money in the city. And grants.
The homeless is our problem because they suck money out of the taxpayer, but they're not working and paying in.
So why are we giving them a check? If they're not earning it, why are we giving them a check? They certainly don't deserve it.
Because they have the words to say the right thing when they apply for these 501c3 grants.
Compassion for
Wanting
our
to do.
fellow Americans who are not doing as well.
So you're okay that you're going to give them $5,000 out of your income tax, right? You're okay with that?
I'd like to see a different path, yeah. The
What we're doing
labor
is
participation rate shows us that we have a problem.
we're growing the problem, and we're using the same farm fertilizer and farmers to grow these crops, and then it's never going to work.
But
Yeah.
what is the solution?
Just keep letting it happen, apparently. Let's just keep doing the same thing over and over again.
Study what other states are doing. You know, when you go up to Kittery, Maine, there's nobody standing at the traffic lights begging for money. Why?
Right? You don't see it in Newton, Wellesley, and those areas.
Why?
Because they don't have a high population of nonprofits that are collecting
We
money.
know because the cops don't tolerate it. They hassle the daylights out of them until they say, I gotta get out. I'm sick of the cops coming over here. That's my takeaway.
No, but it also, I learned this last summer. It has to do with the fact that those towns don't take money for these nonprofits for homeless and drug addicted. So if you don't have it, then if you don't have anybody absorbing these grants and all of this all of this money, then you're not going to attract the population.
True. And why do we reward them with an endless check? Why don't they have to work for it? Why don't they at least have to show up for it? Get down and get your check. No, I just wanted to come on my EBT card. I don't want to have to go. Don't make me go. You can't make me go.
Because we're dealing with people, a lot of whom have dual diagnosis.
Most of them are
addicted.
just have the same wit you do, Cliff.
And they let
Most of them
go.
have the same wit you do. And you're saying, okay, what percentage do you think can't cross the street, Cliff? What percentage of the people getting welfare can't cross the street? I'd say less than 2%. So 98% of the people can come pick up their check.
So if I was just to simply go and ask ChatGPT, how many homeless and addiction nonprofits are there in Massachusetts? I mean, in Lowell, Massachusetts, right? It's 10 to 15 nonprofits and charitable organizations that primarily serve people experiencing homelessness. So let's say 12, okay? 8 to 12 nonprofits that provide addiction recovery, peer recovery, or substance abuse services, and approximately 15 to 20 unique nonprofits when accounting for organizations that do both homeless and addiction work. So let's say 12, 15, there's about 33 places in Lowell that are taking money.
Yep. And what are their go to page 7 of any one of their tax returns, and it tells you how many $100,000 the execs are making over there. Poor people's business is good business.
It is. On the other hand, we're supposed to help our fellow human beings who have fallen on hard times.
What percentage of people on welfare, Cliff, can't work?
I don't know.
Okay. Do some homework. Way too many people are on welfare forever. What we're doing is not working. We're growing this population. And why should I work if you don't? Give me a free apartment. Leave me alone. It's not working, Cliff.
In the alternative future, do these people turn to crime if we turn off their sources of money?
I have no idea what to do with them, Cliff. We need to study what other states and what other countries are doing to successfully end this era of just give them a check and they'll figure it out, because they can't. The homeless can't figure it out on their own.
And obviously they're going to take the easiest option instead of doing the hard work. The easiest way to a check instead of, because that's what they've been taught, that it's a learned
But
behavior.
is
by the
living
government.
on the South Common easy?
For them, they prefer to. They don't like their camps disrupted. Yes, so for them, yes. It's their choice.
Yeah. Well, like John, I've been involved in this homeless mess for a while, including back when we had our own continuum of care, and then we had a city manager who thought she had the solution. We abolished our continuum of care, but turned out she didn't have the solution. So there we are. It's not good. Melanie Gilbert reported in the Sun on a redesign for Lowell's East Merrimack at High Street intersection, which is kind of a mess. Safety concerns at the vehicle-centric roadway is going to be addressed. They're going to do road and sidewalk reconstruction during this summer roadwork season. They're paying for it through America's with Disabilities Act. And this is in response to a motion by City Councilor Belinda Duran, who asked the administration to look into what might be possible. So there we are. I thought I'd mention again application for low number license plates. There'll be 237 available, and this is you can apply through 14 August, and the you won't remember the phone number, so you'll have to look it up.
So Eileen, you want to read these? To get them up on the screen for you, kiddo? Here we go.
But parents give and pay for their kiddo's cell phone and then wonder why the kids aren't listening. Kids should not be allowed to have a phone till they are 16, Jay. What will the average 2-bedroom cost over the old courthouse market rate? I'd say like $2,500 a month. Until people start doing things for themselves and stop blaming everyone else for their problems, things will never get better. When people keep handing out money at intersections to people who don't contribute to society, we have no one to blame but ourselves. It's the homeless person's family to help them out, not my responsibility, Jay. Maybe Mr. McDee's strategy, mandatory help in an empty prison. I'm a fan.
Back to you, Cliff. Thanks.
Okay. The Lowell Folk Festival is coming. It's the 39th. Mark your calendars. It starts on 24 July with a parade of flags. That's on a Friday at 6:15, and it runs through Sunday, July 26th. And I thought I'd put a plug in here. If you're running for office or want to come on the show and just talk about some big issue, call John, the producer, or reach out to myself or Eileen.
Cliff, I got these 2 ballots. City of Lowell ballots. Specimens, if you want me to blow them up and talk about them.
Specimen, not draft. It looks like a specimen, like from the doctor's office.
Yeah, well, I guess this is the official thing that's going to go out there. So they're out there on the city's website. They're wandering around if you want to go look at these ballots and see who's running for what. But Ed Markey against Seth Moulton, and I thought there'd be like 40 questions, but I guess they don't get the preliminary election, the questions. Back to you guys.
Yep. Primary election coming up on in the beginning of September. The politicians will pay attention if a lot of people turn out to vote, because they're not expecting it. So, the war in Ukraine.
Well, how would you know today's voting day? I know today's not voting day. How would you know it's not voting day today?
Because I know it's in September
What day?
1st.
First day of September?
First
Yeah.
Tuesday.
Which is surprising because normally it's the first Tuesday after the first Monday of the month. And the first obviously is not the first Tuesday after the first Monday of the month.
Oh, we just went to another level there.
I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Pretty soon you're going to have Air Force, you're going to have Massachusetts license plates from the Army, from the Air Force, from the Marines.
The only state with 15 different types of license plates, and every vanity plate costs more than the individual money. True.
Massachusetts is all about bringing in more. We need to get more money in here.
Yeah. A lot more money. So, the war in Ukraine seems to be going along pretty well. It's been a little bit of a shift. The Ukrainians are pounding targets in Russia, and they have a maritime strategy. They're going after ships, and they're going after tugs, and going after bridges, trying to isolate Crimea, for instance. And that's more pressure on President Putin.
And what will that result in?
A negotiated settlement, they hope.
It's going to force them into a negotiated settlement.
Yeah.
Both of those governments are very untrustworthy with their words. When you have two liars sit down and make a deal, it's not going to float. Russia's lying. Ukraine's lying. This is going to be a long, long war because they're birthed hating each other.
Well, can you blame the Ukrainians?
Can you blame the Russians?
Yeah.
Okay.
The Russians are the ones that brought the Holodomor.
That's your view.
Who brought the Holodomor?
The hole in the wall? Gee, I don't know about a hole in the wall.
Holodomor.
I don't know what the hole in the wall is. You can use the vernacular. Eileen, what's Cliff talking about?
The war in Ukraine?
No,
And
he
Russia.
said the hole in the wall.
No, I didn't say that.
I don't know, sometimes...
What
I
did you
tune 'em
say?
Holodomor.
What's the hole? What's a hole in the wall, Eileen?
A donut with a hole in it?
I'm going to guess.
Hole in a donut? All right.
I'm going to guess.
That's in the 1930s when the
100 almost
Russians
100 years
killed
ago.
millions of Ukrainians by starving them to death. You looking it up there, John?
No, I'm not. It's 100 years ago. That's what government did. China did the same thing.
Yeah? Does that make it right?
Napoleon did the same thing. History just repeats itself.
I think Napoleon was a little different.
Okay.
They just went out and
Appreciate the
killed
correction.
people.
Thank you. I think you got my point. Maybe you didn't.
Maybe I didn't. I don't think I did.
I don't think...
The point is, Cliff, that these guys are going to get away with it, and who's going to stop them? If Russia decides right now they're going to starve a certain section of their country to death, there's nothing we can do about it. Now, if the Chinese have a certain group in their country, you can't call them coolies because, that's that's racist. Certain group that they just treat like dirt there. And it's okay. We just look the other way. Nobody says anything about those people. And that's the way it's always going to be. Eileen, you want to read this one?
The biggest beggar during the Biden administration was Vladimir Zelensky, Jay. Biggest, yeah. Yeah, actually, now that I think about it, that makes a lot of sense. Actually. And then when Trump came in, not so good.
Well, they seem to be, to have made up. We're apparently going to allow Ukraine to manufacture Patriot missiles for air defense. That's a step forward for Ukraine. Unfortunately, they Ukraine just fired their defense minister, a young up-and-coming politician. I thought he'd been doing good work, and there have been a lot of protests in Ukraine about that. So John tells us about how the Democrats have a wonderful machine, but somebody asked me, can Democrats find a unifying purpose rather than a unifying personality? What is the purpose for the Democratic Party?
To win the election. That's their purpose. At all costs, win the election.
I find that they have the platform, they just pick the personality for it. I think it's reverse.
Okay. Well, what about these Democratic Socialists of America? Are they going to be dictating the platform for the Democratic Party now? They're
Can you
planning
say
to.
that again?
The Democratic Socialists of America, are they going to be, the Graham Plattners, the people in New York City, people out in Colorado? Are they going to be picking the platform for the Democrats? Their platform says eliminate the presidency, eliminate the U.S. Senate, eliminate police and prisons. Let's see.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised, but then we can't be surprised if everything goes off the rails. You can't implement one ruling and then expect everything to be okay.
I just want to put this out there. America's a fantastic country. The only people we can really complain about is the U.S. government, state government, and local government because they can't sue us. That's why we always pick on them. But Lowell's a great place to live in. Massachusetts, I'm enjoying myself here. And the United States of America, God bless America. I'm happy to be here.
Okay. So, should that Wisconsin scofflaw judge have served time? She was the one that released the illegal immigrant so that the ICE people couldn't arrest him?
Strip her of her pension and don't give her job back. Bye-bye.
Eileen?
Yeah, I mean, you can't take the law into your own hands. You have, as a judge, you need to implement the law. I mean, not evade it. So she did what she puts people away for. The leftover dough from when they created the whole was the munchkin. Great show today, Jay. Thanks, Jay.
So, Social Security is supposed to be in trouble by 2029. You
Never
won't
gonna-
even
never
be
gonna happen.
eligible. Why not, John?
Never going to happen. Like, Congress will rescue it.
How?
Just write a big fat check. Print more money.
So, if
You don't like my answer. That's my answer, Cliff. It's
If
not,
you have
and,
this
and it
much-
will work.
if you have this much money and this much goods and services, if you increase the money but you do not increase the goods and services, what happens?
Cliff, which hand has the money? The quality of the faith and the value of your left hand is what grows every year in this world. People want the U.S. dollar. They love it.
But if you do not increase the goods and services, but you have more money, that results in inflation.
So you say.
Well, me and Adam Smith, may he rest in peace.
Dead guy. You and a dead guy. Okay, what do we know? Okay, tell me more. You and the dead guy. What's the story?
Where
Just
do you
print
think
more money.
inflation comes from?
Print more money. That's how I want to say Social Security. Oh, so you want to just Shut up. I'll just shut off your Social Security, Cliff. How do you like that? And you know what? We don't have money for your pension either. That's gone. Let's cut all government pensions. Is that what you want, Cliff?
No,
Well, how are you going to fix it? It's going to run out of money. How are you going to fix that?
I'm not sure how to fix it.
You're going to write another big fat check
And then cause inflation.
and say goodbye. Have a good weekend.
Goodbye.
Hey, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.